Okay, fine. In the last session, we have discussed a few SQL commands and few SQL operators, few SQL functions, right? So today we will discuss some other operators, some other SQL function, SQL commands. Okay. So yesterday we were at we missed one SQL default constraint, right? So we will continuing with that. Let's start with that only default constraint. Okay. Yesterday we have given one default constraint on the table person. Okay. So how to check this default value in this table? Let's see into this.
I can't see the screen still.
I can't see the screen.
Can you able to see now?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's good right
Okay. So yesterday we were seeing this default option, right? Default constraint, the last constraint. So there was one small syntax change for this. So just I am discussing, continuing with this default constraint. I will show with this default how to use this default option. Okay. So insert into. We have yesterday we have created one person table, right? In that we have given the last name as a default some MSBI. So how to this default value will be displayed, how we will be using, we will see this now. Insert into person ID some values. So we have already some 2-3 values in this, I guess. Let me give some new value, unique value, and first name will be some John. I'm not going to give the last name. Okay. I will remove the last name. Why? Because I have already given the last name here. So I won't give the last name. I will just give the only two values here. Let's try to execute this one. One row affected. Select star from person. See, now you can see that this default value. So this is how we'll implement our default values. Let's check for the one more record. The value is some 2 James. I'm going to insert another record here. Execute. It is throwing some constraint here. Person ID is already available, so I will give some 6 here. One row affected. So if you see this, now the one more record is added here with some default value. So this is how our default constraint will be used. Okay. So are you able to hear now?
But in the above statements, insert into person values 3 comma test comma BCD. Again, with that same number you have created down, right, with the name John. So why didn't it throw any exception?
Oh, no. See, before already there was we have a constraint on this. Let's check this one. So what is this one? It should not be not null. It should not be not null. It can be some value.
Okay.
There is a only
Okay.
one constraint. It should not be not null. It can be duplicate. Yesterday's class we have discussed, right? So there should be some value. It can be a duplicate. It's only the
Okay.
small constraint. If you look at this ID, your condition will be applicable here. It should be unique. So whatever the value we are giving, it should not be duplicate. It should be always the unique.
Okay.
Okay. So that constraint we have given.
Okay. Okay.
Default value should be MSBA. So like this we have given, and one more constraint is check ID. Okay. So like this we have given all the constraints on the same table. So like this we have seen the all the constraints. We have one more thing, primary key and foreign key. We will discuss in the end of the class. Okay. I will show you one more SQL statements. So we have one more SQL statements like drop.
Sir, actually, you are changing the syntax for default other than not null unique check.
Can you show me this one? We have any two options in inserting table, right? We have discussed in the second session, if you remember.
Okay.
So I'm applying this second condition, second syntax here. So whichever the values I want, only those columns I am selecting and providing the values only respective to these columns only. If you look into this, that syntax you will be understand. Why? Because here MSBA is a default value which I should not give. Why? Because I have already given some default value here. So every time this last name will be MSBI. Why? Because it is fixed now. So that's why I'm not picking that column.
Then in this default situation, we should not use the first method.
Yes,
Inserting the
yes,
value.
exactly. We have to go with the second method. Why? Because we have only selective columns to be given. Other values we have already some default values.
Yeah.
So in that scenario we have to go with the second syntax.
Okay, sir.
Okay, we have another SQL statements is drop, truncate and alter. Okay, so I hope we have seen a drop in last 2-3 sessions I'm using. So what does this drop will do? What does this truncate will do? What does this alter do? These are all something related to the same context. Okay, so we'll see what are the things it will do. Every time I'm doing some drop constraint on the tables, right? So what exactly it will do? Drop will be deletes the entire table from the database. Truncate deletes the records from the table. We'll see one example, then you can easily understand. Alter statement is there. So what does this alter statement will do? So alter statement will be used to change our database or table structure. Let's start with some examples, then we can easily understand.
Can you say about truncate? Delete only the records.
I will show you the one example, then you can easily understand. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So alter will be alter. It is used to add, delete, or modify the columns in a existing table. Okay. Let's take one by one. So I have one table here. Select star from person. I'm executing this one. So the first one, drop. The syntax will be drop table name. This is the syntax. So we'll apply the same syntax here. Drop table person. Okay. So what I have told you is drop will delete the complete table from the database. So if you look at the database structure here, we have the dev database. In this we have some tables, right? So I have some person table here. Now I am going to use the drop statement. So what it will do, it will be delete this person table completely from the database. Means it won't show you in the future once again. So let's see how it will be. Drop table name, execute, command successful. Let's check here, refreshing the database. Are you able to see any table here? Person is completely deleted from the database. Now you cannot see any table with the name person. So it means it is deleting completely from the database. Like this we have to use the drop statement. If you don't want to see any table in the future, then you can use this drop table constraint. Okay. Any doubts on this?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Okay, fine. So I am
We have
going.
already used drop yesterday, right?
Yes, yes. Okay. So, but how it will be work in the background? This is how it will be used. Okay. Now I am going to use the truncate. So truncate, what it will do? It will delete only the records from the table. It won't delete any database. It won't delete the table from the database. The structure will be remains the same, but inside the table, all the records will be deleted. Let's see one example, then you can easily understand. Select star from some sales table is there, right? We'll see this one. There is no data in this. Okay. We have some table 1 here. We have table 1. Do we have any data in this? Yes, we have some data in this. So now I am going to use the truncate. Truncate table name. This will be the syntax. Let's execute this one. Truncate table 1. I am using the table 1. I am going to use this one. I am going to execute this one, truncate. Now what it will do is, as I told you, the table will be available in the database, but it will delete the entire records in the table. This is how the truncate will be used. Okay. The command is successful. Let's see from this. Select star from table 1. See now, there is no records in this table. Why? Because we have truncate all the tables. See, table 1. Now all the records are got deleted, but still it's available in the database. The table is not deleted, just only the records which are there in the table 1, those are completely deleted. Okay, this is how our truncate will be used. Okay. in future, generally what happens when generally we will be going to use this truncate. So sometimes we need to have some temporary tables. So in that case, how it will be do is, if you have loaded some records or if you have dumped some data into the table and we want to reuse that same table for the next time. So in that case, we need a same table, but we should not use the old data. We want to give the new data. So how it will be do? Just delete the, truncate the all the records in the table and make it as a fresh table. So how it will do? Just truncate this table by using our truncate table name. It will delete all the records in the table and we will give the again the fresh empty table. So from there we can insert the again new records.
So, but the delete command also does the same thing, right? Why?
I will show you once again. I think you was somewhat confused here. See, when I said drop table name.
No.
Hmm,
I'm saying delete.
sorry, delete.
I'm saying delete. Delete command also does the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying about drop.
See, delete. You are saying only the particular record or particular values only. But here truncate means you can delete entire all the records. It won't look into the any condition or something. It will make the complete table clean. Okay.
Okay.
when you start working on this, you will be able to understand. Okay.
Okay.
Now we are going to look into the alter table syntax. So alter table we have seen, right? So where when you can be using this alter statement. So we have created one table. So after creating the table, we found that we need to add some column after creating the table. So we have added some data in that also. But what happens is suddenly some requirement maybe came like we need to add some new column into the existing table. So we cannot delete the table or we cannot delete the data because data is very important. So in that scenario, how we can change or we can add or we can delete the something on the existing table by using this alter statement. Okay. So it will delete or it will add or it will modify the existing column on the table. Okay. So we will see how it will be done. We are using one syntax. We will see some syntaxes or we will be using some example, then you can easily understand. So I am giving some syntaxes here. Alter table name. I am adding one column here and their data type. Means here in my alter statement, what I am doing, I am going to add one new column. Okay, this is the one type of requirement. Sometimes we need to drop some column also. Alter table name. So I don't want any column. So I just want to drop that column name. Simply alter table name, drop that column name, particular name. Okay. So like this we can do the alter statements. We will see one example. Then you can easily understand. So let's check some detail table here. Select star from detail table is there. What is this having? So okay, fine. So if you see this detail table, I have some employee ID, last name, first name and address and city. So I will add one more column here and I will try to add the data after adding the new column. Okay, we will see this one. Alter table, table name, details, add some column name, some mobile number. Okay, and its data type, it will be integer. Okay, let's alter this one. Command is successful. Now we will see once again. See, mobile number, new column is added. Without changing any table or any data, we have added some new column in this. So we can insert the values in this. Okay, you know how to insert this record, any record into the table. Insert into the table name, we will apply some condition where employee ID is equals to something. So like this we can insert the data in the particular column. So like this we can alter the table. If you want to add any new column, or if you want to change any, let's say if you want to drop the same column name, how it will be done. Let's say I have some column name here. I don't want to use as per the client requirement, so I want to drop that column name. So I will delete the same column which I have created. I will drop this one, mobile number. Alter table, table name, drop column name. It's the same syntax. So if you have some constraint on this, mobile number is not a constraint. Could not drop constraint. See previous error. Right? We don't have anything here, right? Alter table, table name, drop.
Maybe it is because of it is null. Try to do with city.
I don't think so. We can drop any column. It should not be anything like that. Let's see. Could not drop a constraint. So I think the drop will be using for some constraints here. So let me check once again. I will show you the syntax once again, but the syntax will be the same. So alter table, table name. If you want to drop any column, it will be simply dropping that column name. Okay. Okay. One small syntax here. COLU, column name. So I will use this old one itself. Mobile number. Let's try this one. Alter table. See. Now it's one small syntax change I have missed here. Drop particular column here, right? So that column you have to specify. Now see this from once again the details table. See again, now it's got dropped from the table. Means here how we are doing this alter statements, we are without changing any table columns, or we are any values in that, we can add, we can delete, we can drop something from the existing table. This is how we can use this alter statement. Okay, like this we can alter the table statements. So if you want to change any data type also, we can do this one. Okay, the same syntax will be here. Alter table, table name. We are going to alter the column. Let's see. So what is this city data type here? We have given varchar, right? So we want to make it as an a some employee ID int here. So we'll just for example sake we'll change one syntax here. So I'm going to change some city as some int, or I will give some varchar 50. I don't want to waste the 100 bytes of data for this city. I will just give only the some 50 characters only. Okay. Now I have given alter table name, altering the column, that column and the data type. Okay. Let's try to execute this one. So it's executed successfully. See, without changing anything, now all the tables, all the records are the same, remains the same. But if you refresh the columns, then you can easily understand how the data was changed. See, if you see the now the city's length is only the 50. This is how we can use the alter statement. Okay, we can add, we can drop, we can change the column data types. Okay, if you have any doubts, just let me know. Now we are going to see another topic which is called as an auto increment.
How can we add some data into newly added column?
Sorry, what is it, Tirupati?
How can we add something into a newly added column? In the
Insert into
same
the
way?
table, right? Insert into the table name. You know that, right? Insert into the table
Yeah, I
name.
know.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
same
the
way.
same way. Okay, okay, thanks.
Yeah. So increment, or we'll call it as an identity column. So what this it will do? What is this auto identity or identity column? So we have one table here. So let's take some details table only. So every time I'm giving some employee ID, right? So if I want to insert something into this table, I'm giving some employee ID as an a 1. So if I insert some next record, I have to give another value employee ID 2. If I insert the another record, then I have to give the employee ID 3. But we have an inbuilt SQL statement where it will be auto incremented. Means if I want to give some values to identity to the particular column, the next time we don't need to give any value to that column. Why? Because it will be automatically incremented. Let's say the first record is now 1, right? Now when I insert the next record, it will automatically takes the value 2. When I insert the next value, it will take the value 3. Means it will be make it as an auto increment. Okay. Let's check one example here. Then you can easily understand. So for this, let's take one new table. It will be better. Why? Because I have to give the constraint on the auto identity. So I'm going to create some table here. I'm giving again some ID column int. Here I am giving the constraint here. Identity column as 1 comma 1, and last name somewhere var 10. from first name calculate 20 some city. Okay, so I will create this table. I have given one column which is ID column. So what does it will do is every time it will be auto incremented. I won't give any value for this ID column. Why? Because I have given some identity. It will be auto incremented every time. Let's create this one and we'll try to insert the data into this. So some last name, first name and city. What are the last name, first name and some city. I have just given only the three values. Now I am going to insert these values. Why? Because I am not giving any ID column. It will take it as an auto increment. One row affected. Let's say this. Select star from person. See, the ID column has given the value 1. Means I didn't given any value for this ID. It has started the auto incremented from 1. Why? Because I have given the identity column starting with the 1. It has to incremented by 1. The value should be incremented by value 1. So if you insert the another record, then we can understand it is incrementing the value or not. It's auto incrementing or not. One row affected. See, now the ID column is incremented by 1 and value is 2. Means it's automatically providing the value to this ID column. Okay. This is how the auto identity will be applicable on the any table. Okay. This auto identity can be applicable only. Yes.
Is there any need to write all last name, first name, and city differently?
No.
In previous tables, we'll use to insert into person and just we'll give the values. We don't write all this.
Yes, but here I am just providing only the particular values, right? See, if you are giving anything, then we have to specify in the second syntax. Okay. We are missing any column in this table. We are giving only the few columns data. Then we have to follow the second syntax.
Okay.
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 So this is how the auto identity will be used. So it will be very helpful for us to give the auto identity number to the column. So it will make us to filter the data also in future. If you have some 100 records, if you give the auto identity, we can easily filter. Why? Because we are not giving any values to this particular record. So we can just check the data from the using the auto identity filter. Okay, we can check by using a where clause and we will give the ID value equals to some 10. Then it will fetch that particular record. Okay, this is how we will be using identity column.
But instead of using this auto, if we are using this auto, we need to write this extra bracket for every column if we need to insert the data. It will be lengthy, I think so.
Which one?
If we use this auto identity, we need to write these three extra. Or else normally if we used to give identity number, then we don't need to write any of these last name, first name, city.
Okay, we will see this syntax. I hope it will be applicable. Why? Because it's identity, right? We'll check this one. Got it, Thiru? I have given the first syntax also. It's auto-incremented.
Yeah, now it's advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you are generally how we will giving this particular values is if you are specifying something, some few columns only. We are inserting the data only for the few columns. Our second syntax will be comes into the picture. Okay.
Yeah, but in this you didn't. You are using the particular three columns. You are missing the first column, even though you are using first method.
It's auto identity, right? We have given auto identity. It is mean automatically it has to give the update. So that is a specialty of identity. It is to be automatically updated with the incrementing the one value here.
Okay. For first value, we need to write that last name, first name, and city, whatever we are giving the values, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so for the identity only, we can do like continuous from 1, 2, 3, or we can do like even numbers, odd numbers, or insert formulas also.
No. Just only the here auto incremented starting with, let's say I have given auto identity as 1 comma 1, right? So here this 1 comma 1 means first thing is auto identity can be applicable on the integer int columns only, the first condition. And the second one is if you want to apply, it should be starting with some 2 and incremented the value by 2 or some 3. So
okay, suppose if I want to do odd, then I can do 1, then 3, then it will go 1, 3.
Yes, correct. Generally, but generally in normal case, it will be 1 comma 1 only. Why? Because no record will be with the starting with some odd or starting with the even, right?
Yes.
But since your case is different and unique actually, but by generally in all the cases we will be using as an 1 by 1. Means every record should be incremented by one value. So it should be in a order, right? So that's why I have given the 1 comma 1. If you want to test, you can test in your own table. Okay.
So you mean that if 1 comma 1 is it starts from 1 and it increments with 1 at every time.
Yes, plus 1.
Yeah, if we write 1 comma 2, it starts from 1 and it increments 2 for every time. That's it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, if you write 1 comma 2, it goes 1, 3, 5, 7 in that way.
Yes. But generally, the same thing Nitin was asking. So generally, we won't apply that type of scenarios. Why? Because if you apply that type, here ID column will be changing, right? 1, 3, 5, 7. Means we will be missing some. If you order by or if you filter the data, the records will be display as something we are missing in between all the records. Okay. So generally, we don't give like that. Okay. If you want to try, you can try. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, fine. So we have one more thing called as a null values here. Is null. I'm just checking is null. I will show you the example and I will syntax. The next topic actually, this is SQL null values. So let's take one example here. Select star from person only. So we have all the values in the table, right? What is this null is null value? Null means you have seen in the previous scenarios, right? Where we don't have any data in the particular column. So what this SQL null values will be checked is null. So you want to see what are those null values in the particular column in the table. So how we can check? But generally we don't have, in this case we don't have any value in the null values. So we will try to add one more record and we'll see how it will be used is null. I won't give any value here. Null and some test4. One row affected. So I have a one record which is having some null value. Okay. So in this case, I have only the 4 records, right? So I can easily see and identify which record is null. But if there is having some thousands and millions of record, then I want to see which record is having the null values. Why? Because sometimes the data will be missing and we can't see the data on the reports or on the particular value. Why? Because we don't have the value for the particular column. But still you want to see where it is missing and where the value is having null. So in that case, we can check is null option. Okay. Select star from person where city is null. Simple. See, it has filtered the city where it is having is null. So only those records it has got filtered. Okay. So this is a very small table, you can easily understand. Let's check for one big table where we have some thousands of record. We have one more database, right? We can check with this. We have some dim customer we are used to, right? Select the star from dim customer. See, here we have around some 18,400 records. But in this table, I just want to see where exactly how many records are the in the, let's say I want to see the title column is there. So how many records are there with the null values? I just want to check. Why? Because somewhere the title value is having the some value. But I want to see what are the how many records are there which are having some null value. Simply applying where title is null. So now the count is some 18,484. Let's see after filtering this null value. So around we have 18,383 records are there. Almost all around after the 6 or 7 records only we have only the values. All are the title values, title column having all the null values only. Okay. Here we have something, another column which is having some middle name. We'll see this column.
Can you check with the middle name, which is not null?
Not
middle
null?
name?
Yeah.
Not null.
Middle name. First check with how many values are there with the null. See, all the column having the null is around 7,830 records are there which is having some null values. I just want to see we have a very simple syntax again, not null. Only we have 10,000 records. Here you have seen what are the null values. Here it is not null, means it's a reverse actually, means which is having some values here. We know that the particular column is having some null values and we have some extra values or some values. We want to filter out what are the null values and what are the values having. Simply the same condition here. Syntax is simply is null, not null. Not null records are 10,000. Is null records are some 8,000 records are there. 7,000 records. So all these records are having some null values. Okay. We can insert some data particularly in this table. Okay. Where I am having only the null values. It will make the data to be filter out. What are the values which is having some null values. Okay. This is how it will be using the is null function here. And now any doubts on this?
No, it's okay.
No, it's clear.
Okay, fine.
It's
So
clear.
I will be going with the next topic, data types. Okay, we have different data types in our database actually. So which we have already using in the last 2-3 sessions. But today we will try to filter out what are the data types we have in the databases, how we can use this one. All these things will be covered here. Okay. Let's take these data types which we have already covered is varchar and character, integer, boolean, float, currency, date, time and timestamp. We have few more also, but these are very regularly used data types in our regular real-time scenarios. Okay. So I think we hope we have already seen the varchar. Whenever we are creating one table, we are using the data type varchar. Means we are giving the values in the varchar. It can be anything. It can be numeric or it can be alphabet. Okay, that will be supportable by the varchar. That is how the data type comes to the varchar. But character, we need to specify only the characters, only the alphabets. It will that this data type will be support only the characters, only the ABCDs only. Here it can be alphanumeric, means it can be support numeric and alphabets. Okay, this is how the varchar and characters. Coming to this integer, I hope we have already seen this integer also. Integer, how it will be doing, we will be storing some numbers here, specific numbers only. Okay, so try to use all these data types in your tables, then you can easily understand how we can use, or else I will show you one table where we have different data types. Okay, let's check one table here. uh, Here we have something called money, and date we have used, bit we have used, and integer we have seen already, right? So how this will be used is, if you are using any currency, then we can use this money actually. Money or currency, same. Okay. So Boolean, when we use this Boolean is, if you want to specify some true or false condition, in that case we will be using this Boolean. It has some fixed length. We will be specifying the Boolean. If the condition should be says like this, true or false, then in that case we will be specifying only the Boolean. Okay, integer you know already is being, integer means having some numerical values. Okay, and the float means if you are using some uh, point decimal values. Let's say I have some 2.3333 something. So in that case we will be using for this float. Boolean is using for true or false. True or false condition if you want to use, then you can use. If you want to specify the using some currency, dollars or something, dollars or rupees or something, then we can specify this. Generally it will be applicable on the amounts actually. If you can specify the amount or currency money, then we can apply the data type as a currency. Okay. Date, generally it will be date of birth. I mean, I am specifying the columns where generally we used to give these data types actually. So date will be take it as a date of birth, where we can specify any date, means when it was born. It will be have some format actually. In the date we can have number of formats. We can have, SQL will support different types of dates actually, but generally DD, MM, YY. This is the format where date will be considered here. Okay. Let's check one example on this. I think we have already some date we have used. If you want, we can see this one. And time, it will shows the current time actually, or we can it will take the time also. So if it generally it will take the current system time, or if you want to specify any time, then we can specify the time also. Generally it will be hours, minute and seconds. Here the timestamp means, this will be very useful actually. If you want, we can use it in the next coming session. Here it will be storing the year, month, day, hour, minute and seconds. Means it is a combination of date and time actually. It will be, timestamp means it will capture everything, date, month, day, hour, everything it will be captured. We have year, month, day, hour, minute, seconds. Yes. So it will be captured all the details. Okay. Generally the timestamp will be used. We will be using. We will see in the next coming sessions where we can have these timestamp data types. Okay. So these are the very frequently used data types. We have some other things also, XML or some other data types, but it is not that much important. If anything, if you want, especially want to know about those data types, I will give the some other sessions to be on these other data types. Okay, but these are the very frequently used data types. Okay. The next topic is primary key and foreign key. Okay, let's see this one, primary key and foreign key concepts. So these are the last constraint we have missed in our constraint concept, right? So let's see where we can see this one, how we can apply the primary key and foreign key. So I have already told you what is the primary key and what does it satisfies. So what is the primary key constraint? It should be unique and not null. Okay, this is how, then only we can say it is a primary key. If you specify the primary key, means by default it will create unique and not null. Okay, so if you want to specify particularly unique, then you can say unique. If you want to specify not null, we can specify not null. If you specify primary key as a constraint, means by default it will take unique and not null. Okay, that is what the primary key. Coming to this foreign key, so it is in a referring to the another table having some column which is referring to the primary key. So I will explain you one example here so that we can easily understand what is the primary key and what is the foreign key, how it will be useful, what is the relationship between the primary key and foreign key. Is simply creating a relationship between the two tables where we have a same column name in the two tables. Then we are referring these two columns basing have some relationship. That is nothing but some foreign key. Okay, so for our example I am going to create some table here. Create table name, some department ID, integer, and I am specifying it as a primary key. Some name, varchar 50. I will give something here, not null. Address, or I will give some mobile number here as integer. I will create one more table here. Create table, some employee, emp id, int name, varchar employee name. I want to give something which is not null, means I have to give the value. I cannot make it as a blank or simply blank records, and some salary here, and I am giving here department ID. Its data type is int. Here I am specifying the foreign key. Referring to the, I am giving some references here. Which table? Department table, department ID. So I have two tables here. So where the first table name is department, second table name is employee. In the first table I am having one primary key on the department ID. I have another table employee where I am having a same column name department ID, which is referring to the one table name, means our parent table name department in the particular column department ID, means this column will be referring to the this column. This is how we will be making some foreign key relationship between parent and child. Here it is in some, we will call it as a parent and we will be call it as a child. So how this parent-child relationship it will be happen is by using foreign key relationship. We are defining which table and which column we have to refer. Okay. So let's insert the data, and while inserting the data and deleting data, we can easily understand how this relationship is established. Okay, let's try to create the two tables now. So we have created the two tables. Let's check. Select star from department. So nothing will be there in this. So just for sake of created or not, we want to see. So we have two tables here, employee, department and employee. We have created some relationship here. Did you see this one? Here the employee table, department ID is referring to the parent table, that is department table. Employee table is child table. In that we have one column department ID which is referring to this column. Okay. This is referring to this one. Means this column is referring to this one. This is the parent table and this is the child table. This is references created we have on the same column name. Okay. If you insert this something the data, then you can easily understand how this constraint will be worked. Okay. Let's insert the data and we'll see what are the constraints it will show. Okay. What are the columns are there in this? Department ID, name, something, and mobile number. So let's see. One row affected. I'm going to execute this one. So we have some data in the department table now. Yes, now we got some data in the department table. Now I'm going to insert some value in the employee table here. Insert into employee value sum 101. What are the columns do we have in the employee table? First check. So employee ID we have given, employee name we have given, some salary we have to give, some 10,000, and department ID is 1. Okay, let's see. Some random values actually. Okay, let's try to insert these values. So now we have three records. Let's check both the tables now. So we have data in the two tables now. Now it is having some relationship also. So how this will be impacted if you do something on this primary key and foreign key? Let's try to implement some join condition, then we can easily understand. Okay, or if we delete something on this, then we can easily understand whether these two tables are now joined or something, or having some relationship with the primary key and foreign key. Okay, and one more thing guys, so if you define something in the table, it will be reflected like this: primary key and foreign key. Let's check our tables. I guess it's created in AdventureWorks, I guess. So this is how our table. See. So it is saying this is a primary key. Means by looking the some table structure, we can identify it has some primary key. PK, primary key. Let's check another value, another table name. We have created some employee, right? So we have here the employee table, FK, foreign key. So like this, we can identify some icon here where we can see which one is the primary key and which one is the foreign key. Okay. Let's check with the conditions where how can we can see this one. One example where we can see the some join table, or we can delete something, then we can see the conditions here. Select star from department. I'll give alias name, inner join with employee sum e on d dot department id equals to e dot some department id. Okay. So it has joined the two tables based on this department id. So this is how we can specify something by using the join tables also. So why? Because it is matching the data in the both the tables where it has some same department id. Okay. Let's try to execute the one more condition. We can see uh, delete from department where department id equals to some one. it is throwing some error which is very clearly specifying that department, it has delete statement conflicts where it has the reference of the foreign key. It means you cannot directly delete the data from the child table. Why? Because it has already some relationship between the some table. So we cannot directly delete anything from the child or parent. It has some dependency now. Why? Because we have created some relationship in between department and employee. We cannot simply delete the data from the table, parent table. Okay. Like this, we can create some relationship between the primary key and foreign key between the two tables. Okay. Do you have any doubts on this?
We can join both the tables without the primary key and foreign key the same way, right?
Yes,
But
exactly. I just want to show you, we have already discussed this inner join without the primary key and foreign key, if you remember.
yeah, but the only thing is we cannot delete anything from one table.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. Now, why? Because it has now some relationship between the parent and child. Without knowing anything, the parent, we cannot delete the data from the child table. Okay.
Okay.
So like this, we have created the relationship between the two tables. If you want to do some relationship between some other tables, and if you want to join something, there are two tables, then we can apply this primary key and foreign key relationship. Okay.
Okay. We can actually do it on the left side also, right? The primary key
Sorry.
by right clicking on the database, and we can do that, right?
Yeah. You see, so many things can be handled from the Explorer. We will call it as an object explorer. If you look at this one, we'll call it as an object explorer, right? So if you come to the databases or something on this, so we can manipulate so many things by using the right click, and we have so many options here. Okay. So if you don't want to follow some query, generally if you want to delete this some database, we can say that delete database, database name dev. Okay. Or we can simply come to here, right click, we can say simply delete. Okay. So
Okay.
both the options are same here. Okay. Like this, we have so many options in the right click options. Okay. As you said, we can create some key options also. Okay. And we have so many things. We can do something new table if you want to create. Simply just go to their tables, new table you can create. Okay. So Object Explorer is something which I didn't explain you. Why? Because without writing the query or without doing on the some query manager, we can do lot of things on the Object Explorer, which I don't want to show you now itself. Why? Because so many things can be done from here itself. If you know or if you look into those options, we can easily handle. But as a developer, we should not follow this Object Explorer every time. We should be know the query,
Okay.
then we can use these options actually. See, if you don't have that much time or that much uh, what do you say options, then we can go with this object explorer options. Okay, if you want to do something new query, or if you want to do uh, script, let's say if you want to see the how the table is created, we can see the table script here. Let's say I have created one table, right, person. I just want to go and see how the create table to new query window. It will give me the table structure, how to this query structure. See, it has given me entire script. Means I can reuse the script at anywhere simply.
Okay.
Okay. Or else if you want to script table as, or if you want to drop, simply it will say new query window, just drop table name. The same syntax which we have used. Okay. The
Okay.
same thing, if you want to use something script table, drop and create. So it will be drop and it will be create. It is nothing but something which we have already discussed. Drop we have discussed separately and create we have discussed separately. So both which can be seen here. So first it will be drop the table and it will create freshly.
Okay, but we have to execute it, right?
Yes, we have to execute it. It will give us the script actually. If you want to
Okay.
use the drop and create, we have to write the query, right? But here if you go to the Object Explorer, no need to write any query. Just go to right click, and if you see these options, you will find that query. It will give us the query. Okay. So I want to see some records in this. I don't want to write select star from this table something. Just I want to see select top 1000 records. Simply it will gives me the records. See, it has written the some query here. Select top 1000 records from this table.
Okay.
So many things can be happen here. So if you want to edit top 200 records, means it will open some window where we can manually edit some records here. First top 200 records. Okay. So we can do like this also. This is how this Object Explorer will be useful. If you want to select, you can select. If you want to insert the script, you can insert this. Update, insert, select, update. These are, it will be create some script here. Delete from table name where such condition. Means here we have to give our condition here. What we want to do some condition here. We are
Okay.
going to delete some table, right? By using some condition we want to use. So that
But this
condition,
syntax is a little different, right? From what we are writing.
yes, yes. So that's why I'm asking, just follow our syntaxes only, which will be
Okay.
very helpful for us. Okay. So that's all for this today's class. If you have any doubts, just let me know.
No, I am good for today's class.
Okay. Divya, any doubts?
No, it's clear.
Okay. So that's all for this today. Thank you.